Alright, welcome back guys. So today we are going to be learning about domain and range. Domain is basically the set of all inputs on a graph. So set of all inputs. Oops, sorry, I should have spaced that out a little bit better. But it's the set of all inputs on a graph. And therefore, range is the set of all possible outputs of a function. All possible outputs of a function or graph. And so then let me fix the domain one to add function as well. There we go. And you can write this anywhere on your notes. It's really just for you, because if you don't know it, then I would definitely write it down. If you do know it, then don't worry about it. Alright, and since we're talking about continuous functions for domain and range, we need to know what continuous is. So continuous is a connected set of numbers, like an interval. So all of these numbers are connected. So when you look at a graph, it will be continuous. It continues on. And I'll show you an example once we actually start getting into it. And then discrete is a set with elements that are disconnected. And we worked with some of those on learning about functions. It was those graphs where it just had the points on it and they weren't connected. But we will do more examples with that as we go along. So now that we have our, sorry, that disconnected looks absolutely terrible. But now that we have our definitions, we can go on to our notes. Ready? Okay. Alright, so here are our notes for today. Domain and range of continuous graphs. So all the graphs that we're going to see on this page are going to be continuous. So for domain, the way that we want to be able to tell what our domain is that we're going to scan our pencil left to right along our x-axis. And then for our range, we're going to scan our pencil from bottom to top along the y-axis, because remember, our domain are our x's and our range are our y's. Okay? Alrighty, so now for our very first example, let's take a look at it. So we have this lovely V shape, okay? But please pay attention to the arrows, okay? So when we are looking at our domain, as we go from left to right, well, our arrow continues to go into this left direction, which are all of our negative numbers. So if you continue to go in the direction of your negatives forever and ever, this is what we like to call negative infinity. Also, I'm going to be using interval notation, which is where we use parentheses, okay? And I'm going to be using it a lot, so just follow along, alright? So we go from negative infinity, and then we come along, we keep going, and then we get our other arrow. Our other arrow is telling us that we're going to continue into this right direction, which are all of our positive numbers. So if we continue positive forever and ever and ever, that means that we are going to go all the way to positive infinity. Okay? And I hope you guys have seen this notation before, but if not, the parentheses just mean that it doesn't contain infinity, because you can't, and we'll go and see an example where it does contain it, and you'll see what we use. But for now, anytime you have arrows that go in both directions, your domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. Alright, And now let's take a look at our range. And I know it's a little confusing now, but as we do more examples, I think it'll be more clear. Alright, so for our range, we're going to scan bottom to top. Okay, so we're going to start at the very bottom of our graph, and we're going to go up, 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 up. And as you can see, we start right here, which is -1, 2. So we're going to start at -2, okay? And then we are going to continue to follow our graph up, 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 up. And as you can see, because our arrow continues to go up, that means that it too is going to continue on. Now, like with domain, we have an infinity in our domain array. We're going to put the parentheses. Now, because -2 for our y is going from bottom, okay? Because it is included in our, this time we're going to put a bracket over -2. This just means that -2 in our graph. It's a point that we can find specific, and actually point to your graph. Well, that's infinity. We don't have a number for on and on and on. That makes a little bit more sense. Let's go on to, okay, we're going to start from the left. We hit a spot. So that is the on our graph. So it is, and don't forget your comma, go, 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 spot of our graph, which is right there, which is, now since I was able to make around those points, because they're F, okay? Alrighty, so now take a look at our range. The exact same thing we did before to top. So up, 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 here we go. And then up, 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 and here's another spot. To stop here is because it's high, right? There is nothing here or below this, these specific points. Goes on more. On my graphs, brackets again. Compare the two examples. First one, how we have to continue on direction, which is to the positive infinities, to the negatives from on and on and on. You kind of have to arrows because our picture is range. Remember, started at the bottom and red spot here, but then as we continue, so it continues up. So it includes, okay. As a refresher, first example, and then what about? Because of our vertical line. Remember that? That was not very dark. Okay? So because more than one spot when we do our vertical, that is what. So left, there we go. We're going to start left to left. I have an arrow to your left infinity. Okay? Right of our graph, remember, because another arrow. So that means that our domain is going to be negative infinity. We're going to look at our range. Start from the bottom and immediately arrow, telling us that we're going to continue. You come down, down, down. So we go from negative infinity graph. That tells us that we're going to do as well. Also going to be point. Why we put brackets or parentheses. We only put, we can pick on our graph. This is on my graph. So let's take a look at our domain. Immediately to our left is, okay. So negative infinity. Follow your graph arrow. Now both of these into down, but it doesn't matter because it continues to go down and down and down. Our x's are more positive. This is a hard concept because it's so conceptual. You have to imagine it, and that's automatic. So it's okay if you just keep doing practice. And for our range, now since we're going to parentheses around it, because again we negative infinity it, we're going to go. There's a point right here, and it actually 1, 2, 3. So this is positive. That's it. Because if it is an actual point on my brackets on it, if it's not a point on, okay, and 3 a function, yes, yes it is. And what it is a function, and any line twice. So yes. All right. So take a look to right. Okay. So point on our graph. Point on my graph. Am I gonna? Because and then have your comma. Hey, look. Here's another point. 3, 4, 5. Another bracket because that was it. Okay. So start at your and hey, it is 1 and excuse me 1. Absolutely. I'm gonna go up, 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 up. 1, 2, 3. Point 2. Y's are your ranges in your domain. What I'm asking for domain. All right. Start left to right. You should notice that I'm going to put around that, and then you're going to follow exactly around it. Okay. We're going to take a look from the bottom. Infinity. Okay. Goodness gracious of infinity. 5, 8. Good. Sorry. Okay. Let's see about number 6. Okay. Do that now. I'm going to. All right. Hopefully you had a moment to review our first page if you didn't understand, and hopefully you're coming to these last 4 examples with a better understanding of what's going on. So if once we get through these 4 examples you still don't understand anything, please raise your hand so I can come and try to help you. I'll make sure that I do that, but you have to watch the video for a second time, okay? Do that for me. Alrighty, so let's do number 7. We're going to do our domain. So what does that mean? We're going to look at left to right. So we're going to start at our left side, and immediately there's an arrow on our left, which means that we're going to do our negative infinity. And then we're going to continue on and on and on and on until we get all the way to the right, and there's another arrow. So that's going to be our positive infinity. Good so far? Alrighty. So now we're going to take a look at our range. And our range, we start from bottom to top, so we're going to go up, 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 up. And oh my gosh, it starts here or here. It does not matter which one you use because they're the exact same number. 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. They are both starting at -3, and since I was able to make that point on it, I'm going to put -3. No, it does not matter that there are 2 -3s. So long as that's the absolute lowest that your graph goes, it doesn't matter that it's on there twice, okay? Because remember, we're allowed to have multiple y's, just not we're allowed to have multiple of the same y's, we're just not allowed to have multiple of the same x's. Alrighty, and so then we're going to go up, 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 and hey look, it doesn't matter which one you use, the same number, so 1, 2. And since I was able to make those points on my graph, I'm allowed to have that bracket. Doing okay? Alright, tell me, is this a function? Let's take a look at number 9, left or right. So we're going and to make that point, I can comma, and right or right tells us what? Positive infinity. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that. And we're going to continue to the top, positive infinity. Function, pick a spot on the graph like it, no matter where we go, count 1, 2 is x, where it is, okay? So anytime, so at the bottom, and question 10, and we have a bunch of examples. Alright, and then, good, continuous paper and